Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to week 5 of the North Jersey Muslim Basketball Podcast. And to get things started, as usual, please remember our mission for the season. We're representing Gaza and Palestine in the ways that we can. Don't forget that these people in Gaza are being ridiculed and oppressed in ways that you could only imagine. They're living in conditions that you can't really consider living conditions. So please keep them as a part of your dua. Do whatever you can to help them. Reach out to whoever you have to reach out to. Please learn on the topic. Be informed on the topic. Stay up to date with it so you know what's going on. And do your best to help them out. And one of those ways is donating. I'm going to post a link for the PCRF donation link from the forum, from the muslimbasketball.org forum. The link will be in the description. Visit it and donate generously, please. Help them in whatever way that you can. The situation there is really dire, so please keep them in your diet and keep them in mind in everything that you do. And now to hop into it, to discuss the elephant in the room, the scene is a little bit different. Got a little bit of a different background, a little bit of a different setup. And a little more subtle detail you guys might not have noticed. I'm on my own today. Yeah, I don't have Hassan or Tawfiq. They are kind of, just sore losers. They talked a lot of trash this last week in week 4 in the predictions and whatnot. Talked a lot of trash to the wrong people and got bit in the butt. They got whooped. And yeah, they were like, Omar, you got it all on your own this week. They're going to step out. No, but on a more serious note, no, they did their part. We actually did record the podcast together on Thursday, I believe, so the night after. And through some technical difficulties or issues, we couldn't upload that podcast. So we tried our best to revisit, and with the storm and whatnot and their situation, we couldn't get to it. So what we decided is we need a podcast for you guys. So we're not going to leave you guys out to dry. At least you guys might not like me. You guys might not like what I have to offer. This might suck, but I'm giving you guys it. You guys deserve it. It's my duty, my responsibility to do my best and to give to the league. So here I am. I hope you guys appreciate it. And yeah, to hop right in. So I'm going to go the exact same way we usually do. I'm going to talk about the winners, the winning team of each game and the losing team of each game after the winning team. And the first game, 7:30 p.m. Court 1 was Al Bira versus Al Quds, and Al Quds came out on top. So first I'll talk about Al Quds, and that is my team. So to be honest, we didn't start too well. We were playing man defense. I couldn't really tell you why we weren't playing too well defensively starting off. They started off up 15-5, so we were losing by 10 right off the bat. And just man wasn't working the way we wanted it to. They were getting downhill. They were getting buckets in and out the rim. They were getting easy putbacks, whatever the case may be, and they were making us pay. 15-5. We call a timeout. John, Bilal, we come up. We decide to switch to a zone. We come back out there, and Al Bira was they hit a wall. They couldn't score. Scoring became way more difficult for them. And to be honest, the zone wasn't perfect. They were definitely getting open shots. They were definitely getting some of the shots they would have hoped to get, and they just weren't falling. So you could attribute some of it to our defense switching it up on them. They didn't know what to do. They kind of got, stuck for a second there, but not a second, actually, for the rest of the game. They couldn't do anything for the rest of the game, especially going through that second half. They were stuck in. Honestly, props, some of the most props I could give that to is the return of Khalid from our team, from Al Quds. He came out, he only scored 3 points, but he had 2 steals and a block and was honestly just a force in the zone. He was all over the place, tipping the ball here and there. He thought he got 7 steals. But he's just tipping the ball. So he was a force on defense. They couldn't do much about it. And the zone really took away from Tawfiq's game, especially trying to drive, and that's why he only shot 6 shots. He shot well, 3 for 6, but only got 6 shots up there. So that was that. I had 19 points. Mustafa had 17. Amir only 6. So Amir had somewhat of a pedestrian game, but to be honest, me and Mus were kind of controlling the flow on offense, and the defense was our our key to win the game because we really didn't shoot efficiently. I shot 6 for 16. Mustafa shot 6 for 16. He did shoot really well, 5 for 11 from the three. Albira had some defensive lapses, leaving him open, and he made them pay. So Mustafa did his part with the 17 points, and Jean down low got to the free throw line, 7.7 rebounds. But now to Albira, the real story of this game is Amir Koyas was their number one scorer with only 10 points. They shot 8% from the three, 2 for 25. So yeah, like I said, we switched to that zone. They became uncomfortable. I don't know what it was. They were getting some of the shots they wanted, just not falling. But what I will say is two things. One, they need at times, and they need to be smarter with the ball. They need to take better shot selection. Their shot selection was pretty poor. Maybe it was the zone. They didn't know really what to do against it, but I mean, they definitely had better shots out there. They were taking one pass, shot regardless. Some of them were, like I said, pretty decently open, but they could have done more to get much easier shots. Like I said before, the zone wasn't perfect. And two, Shafiq's got to be more aggressive, start to finish. I don't know what it was. It was only towards the end of the game, about 4 or 3 minutes left. He saw the game, they were pretty desperate. He started to shoot, shot a couple of threes, hit a couple of threes. He had 2 for 5. Those were his only made field goals of the game, besides his one free throw. So, Shafiq, you got to be more aggressive. I mean, you got to know when it's your time to shine. No, it's your time to shine from the start to finish. And you got to get Tawfiq more involved. That's your job. You're the number one. Get Tawfiq more involved. You can't just have a zone. You see a zone defense and Tawfiq's game is completely eliminated. That's not how that works. Great players find their looks, and it's up to a great point guard to do that for his team. So it is what it is. When we did record this initial podcast, I'll tell you, Tawfiq was a sore loser. He was mad as hell. Nah, but alhamdulillah, like, we came out the dub. I'll take that all day, every day. Moving on, next game. Baysan versus Gaza. Baysan did win 53-48. Baysan was missing Jared. Gaza was missing. Were they missing someone? No, they were not. No, they were. Gaza was missing. Pretty sure they were missing someone important too. Maybe I'm tripping. All right. I don't think they were. Actually, no, they weren't. So yeah, Baysan was missing Jared, and they still came out on top. They honestly didn't have that great of a game. They shot 36% from the field, 25% from three, and I mean, their typical high scorers, Adis, Sal, Zayn, didn't shoot too efficiently. Zayn 4 for 12, Sal 4 for 11, Idris 3 for 13. Sal did hit 4 threes, which is huge, which is major. But I mean, like, it wasn't too impressive offensively for them. So you have like I said, someone like Idris shooting 2 for 12 from 3, 3 for 13, and they still come out with a dub. It goes to show how good this team is, and really like how well rounded they are, and especially with missing Jared, who's a huge offensive piece. Without him there, it kind of falls apart a little bit. Like it might fall apart. I'm not really sure. I didn't really get to watch the game. I was playing my game. But this team also comes with defense, keeping the other team to only 48 points. And you look at the other team stats, Gaza stats, John, who was a lights out shooter, especially against me. I mean, I won't forget that. He shot 0 for 6 from 3, 1 for 11 from the field. He did get 12 points, 10 for 10 free throws is actually crazy. I mean, wow, that's automatic. But I mean, let's try and hit some of those threes, right? Mahruz has been in the slump for the beginning of the season, first half of the season, 5 for 14, 15 points, 10 rebounds. He got the double-double, but it wasn't pretty. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna do something. He's gonna get in the lab. He's gonna do whatever he can to turn it around, because he has to come playoff time. Mo Dirty, only 4 for 13, 2 for 9 from 3, 10 points. Singer, 5 for 16, 1 for 6, 1 for 6 from 3, 11 points. It was not pretty. I mean, they barely shot better than Albira did. Shots taken. And from 3, I mean, 3 for 27, 11%. Not pretty at all. They only made 15 shots overall as a team. So, I mean, they're a good team though. I versed them. I know they're a good team. They have the talent. But what I will say is they lost Joe. I expect them to turn around. You can't just lose a player like Joe Capone, Joe Shiesty, and then just expect smooth sailing regardless. I mean, they did replace him with a good player. He's not Joe Capone. I'm not saying he's better or worse, but he's not Joe Capone. He's not the same player. They're gonna have to take their time meshing with each other. So and I expect them to be back. So Gaza will be all right, and Baysan, you know how I feel about you guys. So Baysan's chilling. They'll be a top 3 team, I think, by come season's end. Third game, Qalqaliya versus Safad. I remember last week, both Hassan and Tawfiq were like, "Oh, this is gonna be a blowout." I said no. I expect it to be closer, and for the vast majority of the game, Safad was right there in it, and they only lost by 9. I heard a couple of them were a couple of those Qalqaliya points at the end were garbage, so it was a tight game. So on the Qalqaliya end, the highlight here, Big Moose. He's right back at it. 9 for 11 from the field, 2 for 2 from the 3, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 20 points. Did have 6 turnovers, but it was a little overshadowed by the rest of his stats. Ansumani Kante, wow, he shot the ball. 7 for 20, 3 for 13 from the 3, 18 points, 11 rebounds. So he got the double-double. Wasn't pretty on the efficiency, but, I mean, I guess it got it done. Jay Wiggins was almost nowhere to be found. 4 for 8 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 11 points on 3 for 10 shooting. So what I said going into when I predicted this game was, yeah, I don't think Safad's going to have the firepower, especially with Ali Sufyan out. So that's a disclaimer, not to take anything away from Qalqaliya. But I said they're going to come with a defensive plan. They're going to come with a defensive strategy, and they're going to execute to the best of their ability. And I think they did. They kept Qalqaliya to 62 points. I mean, 62 points is a lot. We said a couple of those were garbage points. But, I mean, they did their part. They limited those extra guys. Big Moose did have his way for the most part, but, I mean, the fact that Safad was in this is kind of surprising. Like, based on their predictions, you could see why I would say it's surprising. But on the Safad end, Fossan, 3 for 16 from the field, 3 for 10 from the 3, 5 for 7 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, 14 points. Efficiency, again, wasn't there, but, I mean, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. There he was working. Islam turning back the clock, 6 for 11 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 points. Ra'ad Saleh has been a staple. Consistent. When we talked about when we had recorded the podcast the other day, we highlighted this. Ra'ad has been Mr. Consistent. 7 for 14, 7 rebounds, 14 points. He's been a force. He's been a force for this team, and he's coming up big for this team. He realizes the role he's going to have to play on this team, and he's come out and he's done really well with it. So, and like I said before, missing Ali Sufyan, but I do want to highlight Jawad Tamimi was a great pickup for this team. He was a great compliment. You know he's getting his shots. 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from the 3, 5 points. Unacceptable. He's getting his shots for sure, especially with that team. That team, we've said this maybe through the first 4 weeks, this team does not play star heavy. They don't give the ball to one player and let him rock ISO like some of these other teams do. That's not how they rock. They move it around. They set up. They're setting screens and whatnot. They're a team. They play team ball. Jawad, I know you're getting your shots. I don't know what you got to do. Maybe work a few less hours. Maybe get into the basketball court, get some shots up before the game. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to figure this out. 2 for 9, 1 for 5 from the 3 is unacceptable. Let me look into these stats real quick. Through the first 5 games, first game 23 points, third week 11 points. The other 3 were below 10, all below double digits. And I want to say after that first game, the efficiency has been below 40% for every one of those games. And the 3-point efficiency, 0%, 0%, 20%. Jawad, you asked me to rip you, here it is. Work, baby. Get in there, do what you got to do, and help your team out. You're holding them back right now. Safad could really be a good team, and we said this in the podcast. This is the podcast on Thursday. Safad is definitely the most overachieving team. We did not expect them to be what they are, to perform the way that they are to this point in the season. So props to them. But Qalqaliya is just a force, 4-1 right now. They've been playing together for years, and they're also a top 3 team. So Qalqaliya is going to be a force for any team that they play. Next game, Haifa versus Ramla. Ramla comes out on top. Haifa actually started the game winning by a good amount. I want to say by around 15 points. And from what we talked about on Thursday, I didn't get to really watch this game either, but Hassan told me what it was Ramla wasn't really playing defense until the second half. It was once the second half came around, Ramla turned on the Jets and they ran away with it. I mean, they didn't shoot too well either, 45.5%. I mean, I guess you could call that well. 30% from the three, you'll take it. But the story here, Shazib, wow. 9 for 16, 4 for 8 from the three, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 23 points. Killer. And of course you have Mana. 16 points, 21 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 for 16 from the field. I said this last week. It was kind of a mismatch. I mean, not really, because Haifa has like size, but in a weird way, not too much height, but they got muscle. So they might make Mana work, but he got his 21 rebounds. I mean, he's probably going to do that on every team anyway. So Khalid had 11 points of his own. Hassan Farhat, 12 points of his own on pretty good efficiency. So they'll take that. Elias with 6 and so on. I mean, when a team like this is clicking, it's scary because you have Shazib and Omar Mana working pick and roll. Omar Mana is getting any rebounds that Shazib might be missing, and then you have someone like Khalid Sahwali, Ilyas, and Hassan Farhat all there to complement them. Hassan Farhat's like a 6'5" guard, so it makes no sense. So this team is really scary. They're really good. So no discredit to Haifa. Ramla is just a really good team. But Haifa on that end, Amr Qasim, like Ra'ad Saleh, Mr. Consistency himself, 5 for 11, 2 for 7 on the 3, 7 rebounds, 12 points. You're guaranteed 12 to like 16, 18 points from Amr Qasim every week. Muhannad, wow, 20 rebounds with Mana there in the paint. We were impressed, and I'm still impressed looking at it again. 14 points, 3 assists. Efficiency was all right. So very good game from Muhannad Deeb. You know he did his part. You know he hustles. He's going to get there. Amr Hussein, we had one bright spot, one bright game, and we're right back, fell back down to earth. I mean, this is another one of those where we got to figure this out. Haifa at this point is 1-4. I mean, I know he's a good player. Amr Hussein is a great player, but whatever you were doing last season, we need to go right back to that. We need to figure this out. We need to win more games. So, Amr Hussein kind of hurts. That performance at least. Kareem Ahmed, 4 for 13, also not too good. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 points. And you really hope to get someone like Deep Patel a little more involved. But what could you do? I mean, it's tough with Mana there, but there's no excuse. At the end of the day, like, allowing a team to score 70 points is never a good thing. So this is one of those games where you look back at, because Haifa has had some tough games. They've versed Thai twice, so they're definitely a good team, definitely a well-rounded team, definitely a tough team to beat. They're no slouch. So figure out what allowed the other team to get 70 points. Yeah, I know Shazib got hot in the second half, had all 4 of his threes in that second half. I know he got really hot, but you got to communicate, got to work on that defense. Don't let this happen again. 78-55, Ramna. All right, next game. Qibya versus Sabra. Sabra with the win. Sabra right now is number 1 currently in the power rankings, and I believe they are the only undefeated team. Let me just make sure before my facts are incorrect. Yes, they are the only undefeated team. Sabra, honestly, kind of the same story that we've said the last few weeks, but wow. Whenever Raza plays with these guys and Weiss, turns back the clock. Right back to what he was, however many years ago that was, when he was playing with Mombasa. 6 for 10 Raza, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But of course, the story here and the player of the week for this week was Pete Brown. What are you going to do against a 6'7" monster? 10 for 17, 14 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 20 points. He was having his way, however way he wanted it. It's kind of tough to guard someone that big and that talented. And then you have Masri complementing with 5 for 11 from the 3 rebounds, 15 points. And also Austin gave his part. Took a lot of threes this week, 0 for 6 from 3. But 5 for 13, probably was just messing around. 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 12 points. But, so on the Qibya side, they did lose, but again, I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record here. Not that it's a bad thing. Qabias was in this game for a good portion of this game, and even towards the end they were in the game. So it's kind of like what Hassan was saying last week and the week before. You guys start slow, and then go on a run, and then lose it, and then go on a run, get right back into it, and then at the end of the game, you guys let it go. A win is in here for you guys, but you guys need to get on that board now, because if you guys don't know, 2 teams don't make the playoffs. You guys need to get wins now if you guys want to make the playoffs. Got to figure it out. But highlight here, and I think if they won, I'm pretty sure if they won, if Qibya won, you got Nadir would have been the player of the week. 24 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 for 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3. This is the Nadir we want. Oh my God, Hassan had this whole intricate story. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna try my best Hassan imitation. No, I'm not. But the story he had was Nadir had the ball at the top of the key or something like that. Drives past someone. But point is, Hassan goes, I blinked, and I swear he was at the rim. He was at the 3-point line. I blinked. I swear he was at the rim. That might have been the fastest human being I've ever seen in those 3 seconds, that millisecond that he's ever seen. So that was Hassan's thing. So so Hassan's advice to you, Nadir, is to do more of that. Turn on, become the Flash for a second or whatever. Every time, every game. Become the Flash. Work. Put in the effort. And if you're hitting your threes, bro, you're a force. We already knew you're one of the better players. So, especially if you could shoot efficiently, even surprisingly enough against Pete Brown and Austin and Twin Towers. So, Nadir, mashallah alayh. But now I got to knock on someone. Your brother, AK, look at him. We talked about this like 10 times already, bro. Like, can you just stop? Like, could you actually shoot the ball? You're a good shooter. You proved it through like 3 or 4 games already this season. Shoot the freaking ball. 4 shots is not going to cut it. 4 shots is not going to cut it. If you're shooting anything less than 8 shots, you should be disappointed. You should have a bigger role on this team. Bro, there was a day I remember when in your career where you were the head of this team, of this back team, with Hamza and Nadir and everyone else. Can you like you showed glimpses of that past. Why are you like purposely deciding and choosing for yourself not to take that? You want to win a game, do what you got to do. Shoot those at least 8 shots, all right? And Adil, with his typical 6 for 15, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 18 points. You know, Adil's gonna come. Adil's one of the better players. He's gonna come with the height and the defense and the hustle and the flops. You hope he shoots a little more efficiently, but he's a great player, and it seems like he's playing a little more team ball now with his team. He's getting used to it. You know, every team's got a mesh, but could only wait so long. We're 0-5 right now. Let's get a win. Let's get a couple wins, and I think we did this. What I'm about to do right now, in that podcast, we looked at your schedule. And we looked at who you guys could potentially beat for the rest of the season. I think we decided you guys could. Well, I don't know why it's not loading right now, but okay, here it is. We said you guys could win 3 of the next 4, or was it another team? Whatever. You guys could definitely beat Shatila and Safad. Those are 2 games you guys could definitely win. Nablus and Ramla are going to be very difficult for you guys. So, I mean, you guys have 2 weeks. I'm giving you this warning. Work on it. Get those couple wins in. You hope you get into playoffs with that and try to make a run. Next game, Jenin Al Wahdat. Oh, I think this was the team, Jenin, because this team is also on 5. That we went through the schedule and decided that they could win 3 of the next 4 games. But we start with Al Wahdat. Al Wahdat won 62-55. We said coming into this, Al Wahdat is a great team. Jenin is honestly on the come up. They're finally playing defense. I heard from Splash. Splash talked to Hassan. That he agrees with everything we're saying. So I'm going to say it again. As long as you guys are playing defense, and you guys are putting in the effort, you guys are taking smart shots. Oh, and you guys are missing Ian here. So taking smart shots, getting into getting the ball moving around, ball movement, smart shots, making the right decisions, playing defense, putting in the effort, just playing team ball. Playing team ball the way it's supposed to be played. Play basketball. And you guys are going to be in every game. And so far for the last 2 weeks, when you guys are doing that, you guys are in the game. Came down to the wire this game, and then I want to say the last few points. It was like a 2-3 point game. The last few points were free throws or garbage points for Wahdat. So you guys were right there. But on the Al Wahdat side, so let me try and start with them. I know I kind of started with Janine, but Al Wahdat was also missing Keon, so that's a big piece they were missing. But Corey or Talib really did step up. 6 for 11 from the field, 8 for 9 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal, 21 points. So that's huge. Jihad Mustafa, 4 for 11, 2 for 5 from the 3, 6 rebounds, 12 points. And not that I'm surprised, but finally it happened for the season. Yeah, finally we've been waiting. You know, you keep telling me about the confidence. You're not that old, bro. I know you think you're that old, but you're not that old. Turning back the clock, I really don't want to say it so, because I've seen you playing pickup. I've seen you playing with me recently. You're hitting shot. So 5 for 12 from the field, 4 for 7 from the 3. That's what we expect from Yemen. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. 4 steals is huge. 14 points. So Al Wahdat, shout out to them. You guys are a great team. You guys are also 3-2. You guys might be ahead of my team in the standings still. But hey, you guys are doing great things. You guys are playing defense, playing offense, and missing Keon, being able to pull off this win is huge. So Janine playing the way that they are, when they're playing that way, they're not a slouch. So great win, Al Wahdat. And so now on the Janine side, you had Jake or Yaqub with 6 for 12 from the field, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and 14 points. Mo Rayan, not a name we've mentioned too much this season. 7 for 13, 3 for 8 from the 3, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 21 points. And honestly, not too much anywhere else. Raj had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, so pretty good game from him. But what I will say is, let's really get this whole team involved. Splash is a good scorer. 6 points, don't really like it. Hamza Abdul Ghani, great 3-point shooter. He did take 7 threes, so let me say you guys are getting him the ball. Hamza, you got to be better than that. I've seen you do it. You're on my team. I know you can do it. Do it. You need to get some wins. And Raj has, honestly, he's a great talent. I've seen him play. Honestly, I like him a lot as a player. I think you guys should try to get him more involved. But my thing here is, it looks like you guys, everyone was getting their shots this game. 8 shots from Splash, 8 shots from Hamza, 12 shots from Yaqub, 13 shots from Orayan, who killed it, honestly, and 10 from Raj. What I want to see is when Ian comes back, I want to see a little more of this, where everyone's getting their shots. Ian's a great scorer. He's very talented. So he'll get his too. I'm expecting at least 10 to 12 shots from him as well. But I need everyone else to also get their fair share of shots. I want to be able to tell the ball was moving around. You guys have it in you. So let me go do that little thing that I did with Libya, because that's what we did in the podcast the other day. Ariha, you guys could win. That's next week. Haifa, you guys could win. That's the week after. Al Khalil, that's the week after that. 3 wins that you guys could potentially get. All these teams are good, but you guys could definitely beat them. So like we said, those few things, as long as you guys are checking off those boxes, you guys are going to be all right. You guys will definitely get those few wins and hopefully get you guys to the playoffs. Next game, Nablus Al Khalil. Wow, man, this is becoming a story, man. This is tough. Nablus blows out Al Khalil 86-54. So that's 32 points. And it's kind of tough, man. It's so tough. It's so tough. I wanna be in a defender's shoes guarding a Ty Jackson run team, because I want to know how really like I would say, I'm going to say 40 points in the first half, 46 points in the second half is pretty unacceptable. 86 points in total is kind of ridiculous. So Al Khalil, I mean, I'm sure there was more you guys could have done defensively, but like I was just trying to say, I'm not sure how tough it is with Ty Jackson on the other side. And let me say, Ty Jackson had a low-scoring game, 28 points. Dude was averaging 36, 37 points, and had 28 points on 11 for 17 from the field and 4 for 6 from the 3. This man is ridiculous. I don't know what to say. 9 rebounds and 4 assists. And on top of that, you have Malik Zarbi, 7 for 14 from the field, 4 for 10 from the 3, 5 rebounds, 21 points. And on top of that, you have Mido Zarbi, 5 for 11, 4 for 9 from the 3, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And on top of that, you have Mo Amin, 4 for 7, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 9 points. I mean, when the team is clicking like this, it's kind of really difficult. This team is the way they're playing right now is, in my opinion, I mean, oh man, there's some really good teams. Sabra, Baysan, Qalqilya, this team. Wow, man. But let me say, since Ty has gotten to the team, they haven't faced off against one of those top teams. And this next game is going to be really, really informative and interesting. So we'll get to that with the predictions. But wow, Nablus have been a force. Really have been a force. So, I mean, y'all don't need advice. Undefeated since Ty joined the team. Okay, Al Khalil though. Let me tell you, there was more of what we said last week and the week before that. Tawfiq and Hassan really took a shot at Zishan and Salman, because so Salman had the player of the week, whatever week it was, week 2 or 3, and Zishan has been chucking up shots every game, but Salman has also been chucking up shots. And they said something about Ali Beg, but no Ali Beg this week, I could tell. But Zishan did have 25 points on 6 rebounds, but 9 for 24 is brutal. 9 for 24. And Salman, 1 for 6. I mean, how do you go from scoring 20 points to 2 on 1 for 6 from the field? And what we did say is, more of what we said last week was also, you have someone like Muazzam. And honestly, I don't know who Walid thought it is. I'm not too informed here. But Walid, good job. 5 for 11, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Low-key under double-double. Feed him the ball more, maybe. But Muazzam, I'll say, I saw him have a play where he got the ball kind of in the post, did a little spin towards the baseline, used his body to create some separation with a little bump and put it up on someone pretty similar in size to him. So you could tell this guy has some skill, some talent. We say, so what Tawfiq, I'm pretty sure this was what Tawfiq said in the podcast when we recorded this originally, was get the ball to Muazzam in the post and work at it. He doesn't need to shoot the ball every time. Doesn't need to shoot the ball. 11 shots is plenty. Doesn't need to shoot the ball every time. Just work out of him in the post. Because from what it seems like, that's your best bet. That's your best option. That's going to be the most efficient option. That's going to be the most effective option. So work out of him in the post. Because Zishan taking 24 shots and only making 9 of them is not the answer. We kind of looked at your stats, if I'm being honest. We kind of looked at your stats, and we saw 3 for 15 the first game, 7 for 22 the second game, 5 for 20 the third game, skipped the fourth game, 9 for 24 in this 5th game. It's pretty crazy, bro. Let's try and learn. Let's try and get better. Let's try and do better. And you guys are kind of in the same position as those last 2 teams that I mentioned. Yeah, you guys do have a win under your belt, but you guys are only 1 win away, 1 loss away, or whatever the math and the English is on that, from missing the playoffs. So we got to turn things around some way, somehow. Let's take better shots. Let's find the best shot. Let me say it that way. Let me put it that way. Let's find the best shot every time we come down. Let's find the best shot and let's play defense. Because like I said before, 86 points. I know you guys are facing a good team, but come on. We're all grown men. Let's not make excuses. Let's do better. All right, next game, Ariha versus Bet Lahem. So, me and Tawfiq actually predicted this last week. We said Ariha would come out with the win, and they did. Ugly game for both teams, if I'm being honest. 35% from Ariha, 18% from the 3. Just an even uglier game from Bet Lahem. 26% from the field, 20% from the 3. Jay Marshall, 7 for 18, 1 for 10 from the 3. 3 rebounds, 19 points. Afei, 3 for 10, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, 11.7 rebounds. And then a bunch of guys gave a couple points here and there from Ariha. But honestly, what it looked like to me was Ariha was just getting physical, playing bully ball, controlling the pace in the half court especially, and getting the points that they wanted to. But like I just said, they didn't shoot too efficiently, but they were getting the shots that they wanted, and though they only hit 35% of them, they got it to fall, and it did what it did. It got it done. I hate that I remember this now. It's so much easier to remember the jokes when I'm with them. But we did make this joke. Ariha versus Beit Lahem, Jordan versus LeBron. I think the debate is over. But on the Beit Lahem side, Mahdi, 24 points, 8 for 24 for 13. So that's probably, though he had 24 points and 10 rebounds, probably his worst game because the efficiency was so bad, it wasn't really there. I did say that if they were going to win, it would be through Mahdi because he's like fast, tall, lanky, and could shoot. The kind of like is like the counter to Ariha's play style. Hassan, only 12 points, 3 for 11 from the field, 1 for 7 from the 3, 5 for 7 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds. It's kind of tough, man. It's so tough. Ariha knew his play style going to this, and the way they were playing defense. Big props to Omar Marachli and someone like Jay Marshall, getting physical with him and not letting him get his way. So big props to them. They did their job. But this team, Beit Lahem, honestly, is like, they're a good team. They're 3-2. But honestly, their wins haven't come against the greatest of teams. And Tawfiq, this is coming straight out of Tawfiq's mouth. They're very top heavy with Mahdi and Hassan. Outside of that, Ahmed Shaban had his return, but he shot 1 for 10 from the field, 1 for 8 from the 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 points. That's why he was pretty depressed. Mohamed, that's why there was no enjoy fellas with the stats. But I mean, it's kind of tough just coming off the injury, jumping right back into it, playing the defense that you were and that he was, and trying to score at a high clip. Pretty difficult. But I will say this game ended up being a 7-point loss for Beit Lahem. And Omar Sahwed and maybe 1 or 2 other guys had wide open, blown layups and misses that they had. So they were right there, and they also had a jersey penalty. So let's just say 4 points from the blown layups and the 3 points, 51-51. It was right there for them. They were losing by a good amount at some point, but they brought it back at the end, and they just at the end they couldn't finish the comeback. But they were right there. They were right there with a team like Ariha, who's a good team. So, and Beit Lahem, by the way, has been the best defensive team statistically this season. They're number 1. So yeah, they did their job with Ariha, but Beit Lahem you need those role players. You need those role players to do the role. You need them to do the role. You need them to give score on those opportunities that they have. Hassan and Mahdi are garnering all the attention, leaving someone like Yazan or Omar or Ahmed Abid or Ahmed wide open. They just gotta hit the shots. Like I just said, Ahmed Shaban, 1 for 8 from the 3, 1 for 10 from the field. Omar Sahwed, 1 for 6 from the 3, 2 for 11 from the field. You get a couple of those buckets, wide open shots. I'm seeing them. They're open shots. You get a couple of those buckets, they go in. But like we said, this team is top heavy. So if those players do bad, it becomes way more difficult for the team to win. If they both do good but the rest of the team does bad, it becomes very difficult for them to win. But at the end of the day, you have someone like Mahdi and Hassan, both 2 of the top 5-10 players in the league. You can guarantee, and especially with the defense this team plays, at the very least, they might not have the best offense in the league, but at the very least, this team plays, like I just said, the best statistical defense. So they're going to be in it regardless. So, oh, and by the way, we did mention Samir Hawadi, purple pants, the putback. Tough putback. Can't believe it went in. Can't believe it went in. Jumped from like the free throw line, almost like slammed it against the backboard. You must know something I don't, because I can't believe that went in. Was really shocked to see it go in. I thought it was going to rim out from how hard you threw it at the backboard. Please teach me your ways and how you put it in that way so I could learn from here on out. But yeah, and to touch on a little more of these guys, Afe still in that shooting slump. Thank God he didn't take my powers back, or your powers back, I should say. So keep them with you. And Big O has only not been shooting much, but I did hear Beit Lahem was playing his own, so it was kind of tough on him. Marachli gave his little portion, 3 for 5, 1 for 3, and Carl Magby saw him hit a 3, big 3, 1 for 2, and 3 for 8 from the field, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. So Ariha is going to be a tough team for anyone that they verse. And the last game from this last week was Yafa versus Shatila. Yafa only had 5 players, but they do have, I could safely say, some of their best players there as part of the 5. And we all predicted that Yafa would win, even though Farhad's on the other squad, and we'll talk about that. He had a game, But Yafa honestly came to play. I mean, they're on court three. They can move. They're gonna be young. They're gonna move around. They're gonna run the floor and they're gonna score. Um, like what could I say? Ismail shot 6 for 10 from the field, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 14 points. Ishaq shot. I'm gonna get to Ishaq. 9 for 15 from the field, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 22 points. Wow. Hassan Popal, 9 for 22, 5 for 15 from the 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 23 points. Not the best shooting in the world, but it gives you 5 threes. You'll take it. It gets the job done. You win. AMP Abdul Muttalib Popal, 7 for 15 from the field, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 18 points. Everyone's giving. Everyone's giving. This team is running. They're explosive, especially when the matchup is in their favor. They're not going to lose. They put up 84 points, 51 points in that first half. And now to go back to Ishaq, I know we talked a lot about AMP this season, a lot about Ismail. We haven't talked too much about Ishaq. And the recorded podcast, the one that we already recorded, we did talk about Ishaq this week, and so I'm going to touch upon him again. Wow, man, you're impressive. I mean, I expect more and more from you going forward. I've watched you play in tournaments outside of Muslim basketball and through the first few weeks of Muslim basketball, and I tell other people, I'm not sure I've told you, I don't think I've told you, but your finishing around the rim is actually insane. I can't believe it. I don't know how you do it. You're jumping up, you're getting hang time, you're jumping up, very athletic, subhanAllah, mashallah, very athletic. Getting up there, right hand, left hand, spinning with a tower right next to you, and you're just, mashallah, man. Keep it up. You're a dog. You're killing it. If you have some pointers, I could use them. Thank you very much. Shatila. On the Shatila end, Ed is back. They couldn't really guard Ed. The only person guarding Ed was himself, but he did shoot 4 for 11 on the 3, so he gave himself 4 threes. He was a huge part in their comeback. They were down big in the first half, 51 to 36 in the first half. Shatila did come back, and Ed was a big part in that comeback with 4 threes, 12 points. Hassam gave his part with 7 for 14 from the field, which is huge. Efficient shooting, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 15 points. That's huge. Tariq Yassin, we expect a little more from, especially from what we've seen in the first few weeks. 3 for 7, 3 for 6 from the 3, 9 points. But the story here with Shatila, we said this going in, the only way Shatila wins is if Farhad completely takes over, and they almost pulled it off. They only lost by 10. It wasn't a complete blowout. And all in part to Farhad. 13 for 20 from the field, 4 for 6 from the 3, 11 rebounds, 32 points. This is another one of those where if they won, he would have been player of the week. Definitely would have been player of the week. 32 points. They brought it back, like I just said, with giving part to Ed, of course, Farhad and Hassam. They were right there. They're honestly down 2 or 4 points or whatever it was. But they came down, missed a couple of important shots. I was there witnessing it. Honestly, a couple of them were some pretty bad shot attempts. Some from Ed, some from Hassam, some from other players. But the point is, some bad shots, they missed them, and Yafa ran the floor and capitalized. Honestly, and Yafa didn't have a hard time capitalizing. They were just running down the floor, layup, layup, layup. I mean, we expected this with Yafa, even though they only had five players. They're much younger, much more energetic, much more athletic overall. Bad matchup for Shatila. And Yafa just came out with it. So Yafa's a great team. We've been saying it. They're going to get a couple more wins on the board. They didn't deserve the record that they had, which was 1-3 at the time. They are now 2-3. And they actually have a pretty tough schedule ahead of them, but they do have at least 2 wins that are available for them. And Shatila, honestly, we're 1-4. Let's start to think about playoffs as well. So just a fair warning. You guys do also have a couple of winnable games in front of you, but just remember, 2 teams don't make the playoffs. And that's it for the recap for week 5. Week 6 predictions. We're getting right into it. The first game, Al Quds Baysan. I'm pretty sure both of them predicted Baysan. I don't really want to predict my game. I did almost, because I love Baysan so much and I think they're a great team, I did almost do some weird stuff where I said Baysan would win, but none of that. I have confidence in my team. Not that I ever doubted my team, but next game, Nablus Qalqilya. Wow, what a game! Game of the week. I can't wait. Really, really can't wait. Ty Jackson versus Big Moose and company. Big Moose, Jay, and Antumane. Wow. I'm pretty sure me and Hassan, don't quote me crystal ball. I know you're keep it down records. I said Qalqilya. I said Qalqilya will win. Just because of the defensive prowess that they have and their size overall. I think the X factor in this game would be Momin. Oh, and I didn't mention, but I'm pretty sure Hassan also said Qalqilya and Tawfiq said Nablus, but don't quote me. If you want to reach out to them separately, reach out to them. Yeah, I said Momin would be the X factor here. If he could have a good game on the boards and just down low overall with the size that Qalqilya presents, that would be the reason Nablus wins. But Qalqilya is honestly, they've just been playing with each other for so long. I haven't really seen Nablus struggle yet. A lot maybe in part because they haven't versed the greatest of teams, and this is their I don't want to say test, but like we know Nablus is a really good team, but this is like that test in the upper echelon. I guess you could say. So I guess Qalqilya is a little bit more of a safer pick for me, but I think they have what it takes. I think they have the game planning and the IQ and the idea and the game, to pull it off, for Qalqilya to pull it off. So that's why I'm going with Qalqilya. So yeah, Qalqilya there for court 2, 7:30. Ramla versus Al Khalil. Not much to say here. I could only predict based on what I've seen and what I've experienced and what I've been given. Al Khalil has only given me so much. Ramla has proven to be a force. I'm gonna go Ramla. Sabra versus Gaza. A lot of the same, but Gaza is not Al Khalil. Gaza is good, but I haven't really seen Gaza take that step since Joe's been out. Hope he has a speedy recovery, of course. Since Joe's been out, I haven't really seen Gaza take that step. I need to see Mahrouz turn up. I need to see Mo Dirty show us what he showed us in week 1. I need to see Sinjar be a little more efficient, more consistent. I need to see John not go 1 for 11. I need to see him hit threes. But Sabra is just, wow, man. Sabra is the number 1 team. Not much more to say on that. So Sabra. They've definitely both predicted for crystal ball purposes. They've definitely both predicted Ramla. They've definitely both predicted Sabra. That you could quote me on. Safad versus Yafa. This you can't quote me on. I think, man, I feel like Tawfiq might have said Yafa and Hassan might have said Safad. I definitely said Safad. This is more of like what we talked about, what I talked about last week. Safad is gonna come and they're gonna come and play defense. They're gonna play defense and they're gonna play team ball. Yafa is very they're a great team. Great team. They probably, no, I would say they do have more talent as a team. But they're very momentum heavy. So if the defense is suffocating, they might struggle. Don't kill me for saying that. But I got my brothers, so this might be biased as well. I got my brothers in company winning this game. Safad is a good team. Their record also proves that much. So, yeah. Al-Wahdat versus Al-Bira. Yeah, Al-Bira's good. They're missing Shafiq. They're going to be missing Tawfiq. I kind of sent them on vacation with that loss I handed to them last week, or my team handed to them. Sorry, I don't want to give all the credit to myself. But yeah, Al-Wahdat is a great team with struggling Al-Bira, or let me say, not at full capacity, not at full power Al-Bira. I don't see Al-Wahdat struggling much. The only way, this was Tawfiq's words, he believes Al-Bira is going to turn up is if Amir and especially his younger cousin Muhammad turn up. Muhammad could shoot threes. He got it like that. Trust me, I've seen it. He got it like that. If he could turn up and he could hit a lot of threes, and this could be his breakout game, even though he technically in his debut had that for his age and his personality. That's the only way he believes Al-Bira will win. He said, I believe. He did one of those. I believe. Yeah, I don't believe anything. Al-Wahdat's going to win. The next game is kind of the same. AFA and Jordan, Michael Jordan and company sent LeBron on vacation. Beit Lahm is going to be missing Ahmad Shaban and Hassan Shaban, which is 2 of their biggest pieces. So they honestly don't have much of a chance. The only chance, this is what we also said last week. Oh, by the way, you could also say Al Wahdat for me and Hassan for this. I don't know if you want to ask Crystal Ball, if you want to ask Tawfiq if he predicted his team or not. And you could ask Hassan for the same thing with Bethlehem. But yeah, no, Haifa is honestly a great team, even though they're 1-4, like I said, but they're a good team. I'm not afraid. I'm not too concerned about them not making the playoffs at the end of the day. I got Haifa without a doubt. But the only way we could see Bethlehem winning this game is if Mahdi has like 45 points. They play great defense. I mean, they do play great defense regardless of Hassan and Ahmed, but even though they're two great defenders themselves. And the rest of the team scores like 10 to 15 points combined. So they get like 60 points or 55 points or whatever. And they keep Haifa to a really score. But we're talking 0.01% chance. So I got Haifa there. Shatila versus Qibya. They both, actually, I'm pretty sure they both predicted Qibya on this game. They both predicted Qibya. They said, we believe in the boys. We believe in the Shabab. The Shabab are going to come out. Nadir's going to come out and play his game. Adil's going to come out and give Farhad a shoot. I don't know if they said that, but... and they said AK is going to come out and play well. I was going to come... They said the Shabab are going to take this. But Farhad is a force. I'm going to stick to Farhad. I'm going to stick to the record with Libya. They're 0-5. They haven't pulled one out. I'm going a little safer here. Maybe I'm rooting for Libya. But Farhad is a force. And I'm just going to have to go with Shatila. And that's without going into all the details of it. Janine versus Ariha. I'm pretty sure Hassan again went with Janine. Tawfiq might have gone with Ariha. I'm not sure on Tawfiq, but Hassan definitely sure he went with Janine. I said Ariha. Ariha, I mean, like, I'm in the same boat. Hassan said, Janine, they're doing it right. They understand what they have to be doing. They have the potential. They have the talent. They're on court 3. They have the advantage. And I might agree with almost everything he said. I might. But at the end of the day, last week I kind of said the same thing. I said, oh, Janine's doing this and that. They're going to pull out the win. Not to say they really disappointed me. I was kind of glad that they kept up what they were doing. They kept up that effort. They were going down the right path, but they disappointed me in the way that they lost. I predicted them, and that gave me a loss on my prediction record. So I'm going with Ariha here. Ariha is, at the end of the day, a great team. So, not to disrespect them at all, Janine is 0-5. It's kind of the same argument I had with Libya. So, that's that. That's the predictions for week 6. And now to get into the season stats leaders. Leading in points still, Ty Jackson, 35 points a game. Ian with 29.5. Mehdi with 25. Farhad with 24.5. Rebounds, Jared's at the top. Pretty sure mine is supposed to be here, but whatever. Muhammad Deeb, so we have 14, 13. Farhad again with 12.5. Pete with 12 and Adil with 11. The assists, Splash with 6.2. I like it. It's a little different. Shafiq with 6. Farhad with 5. Ty with 5, which is insane. And Suhaib, Norman with almost 5 as well. Steals, Jay Mustafa, Shafiq. Jihad has 3. Shafiq with 2.6. Big O, wow. 2.2, Jawad with 2, and Keon with 2. Blocks, Mehdi's at the top, just barely. I'm not going to really mention anyone else. Double-double, you have Jared, Pete, and Farhad all with 4 through 5 games. So they all respectively only missed 1 double-double. Free throws are all out of whack, so I'll just give it to Mehdi with 4.2. And 3-point field goals. Still at the top, Ty Jackson, but a bunch of guys are catching up to him. Mohamed Popal with 4.7, Mehdi with 4.2, Mo Masri with 4.2, and Hassan Popal with 4. So there's a little bit of competition there with 3-pointers. It's sad to see that I'm not on there, but that's that. So that's the pod for week 5. I know you guys love me more than you guys love them. If you guys want me to stay solo and kick them out, I respect that, but I won't do it. But honestly, please bear with the podcast. Please bear with us. I know it came out. I know it's coming out late. I know it's going to be uploaded late. I know I'm alone without the other 2 guys. I know you guys find them very entertaining. I know Hassan's a jokester. And I know Tawfiq's a jokester. I know I'm not the same talker, and I know I'm not the same analyzer that they are. I know I'm way more of a genius, but it is what it is. So yeah, please bear with us. We're trying our best. It's gonna be more of the same for this next week. Might be a special episode. Might be special guests coming in. I have to find out. No guarantees though, but I'll do my best. Might be a really funny one, so please tune in. And yeah, that's the Week 5 podcast. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.